there isn't one tour pro who doesn't have more lag, tighter angle here on the downswing than he had at the top of the backswing, because their body creates that. Okay guys, hey, I'm laughing a little bit because I just went through this whole thing and I didn't have the camera turned on. So I'll try it one more time. I'm at Bloomington Country Club. It's January 2nd. I'm bragging a little bit because it's probably 60 degrees at 5 o'clock. It's beautiful here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about something, and I would love for you guys to comment whether you've ever heard this or anyone's ever explained your golf swing, at least where you should lag, where you should load, if anyone's ever explained that to you before, and why. I don't just teach something. I usually tell you why it's important that you do it the way you do it. It's more natural, actually, but you probably have never felt this in your golf swing, okay? So we're going to talk about where you get your lag. When you get your lag in the golf swing. When this wrist goes from here to somewhat this position, this feel here in your golf swing. It can happen somewhat early, and that's fine, but there needs to be more of it on your downswing than there was on the backswing. Okay, so I'm going to illustrate that a little bit by throwing a ball. I'm not actually going to throw it, but I'm going to slow motion the motion of throwing a ball. And if you do this, if you throw a ball and videotape yourself, you're going to see the same thing. You're not thinking about when your wrist loads and unloads. You just don't. It just happens naturally, but there's a cause and effect, and your golf swing has to have that same cause and effect. So the only reason your wrist sets here is because your body starts to open. That brings the shoulder and the elbow towards the target, and that makes the wrist do this. So if you sidearmed it, you'd feel the same thing. Pitcher throwing a rock, you get here, it's going to happen as your body moves forward. That same feel should be somewhat in your golf swing. You should have your wrist here. It can set some, but there needs to be more set, more lag as you start moving your body. Your body moving down should create that motion with the club. That should tie in right there. As you move the club and the wrist should set. And then you're going to throw at the bottom of the swing, but it's throwing later, so it's going to throw out in front of you rather than behind you. And that's critical to stop throwing this side of the golf ball. If nobody's ever told you that, the problem is you're going to get up here and film your swing. Next time you film your swing, you're going to come up here, you're going to see that you get every bit of load before you ever start going down. So whatever this angle is, I usually use the left arm in the club. Whatever angle you have, that angle is going to be the tightest you get before you ever see this hip move this way. And the problem with that is now someone's going to try and teach you to hold on to that angle on the downswing and then somehow throw later, and it's really hard to do. But if you take the club back and you get it here and you don't have all of your lag gone, and as you rotate through, the wrists are soft enough for that to move down, the whole downswing is only 0.2 of a second. If you get your wrist moving any way this way on your downswing, you can throw all you want. You're not going to get throwing on this side. That starts to create a late release that happens out in front of you. And I'm going to put some tour pros on here, particularly Sergio Garcia. He puts massive amount of lag on his downswing. Okay guys, hey, I'm going to pause that video for a minute, and I'm going to input this swing from Sergio Garcia. Now, he downloads like crazy, more than probably 95% of tour pros. But I want to use him as an example because you're going to clearly see it. And when you're training, before this becomes natural for you, you should exaggerate this feel to look a lot like what he's doing in your swing. Once it's natural, once your wrist set the same way it would set throwing a ball or swinging a bat, that it sets more as your body rotates down, you get a little gather in there, you won't ever think about it again. No good player thinks about when their wrist set on their downswing, but there's definitely more lag on a downswing for every good player than there is on the backswing. Okay, with that being said, we're going to watch his swing. I'm going to take him to where his lead arm is horizontal to the ground. This is a pretty good position for you guys to stop your swing in if you're looking for positions. So we're going to stop about right here. I want you to notice his shaft of his club is here. And if we take that line from his shoulder, I'm going to leave that line there and see where he is when he comes back down. As he goes up, you're still going to see some exceptional load at the top of the swing when his hips start to turn out. So if we look at him when he starts right there, when he first starts driving into that left hip, you can see his left hip behind him start to fall in and drop down here. That's his move of actually transferring weight to the front foot. So in my example of throwing a ball, that's the lead leg starting to go forward so the hips can open up. I'm going to draw another line here where he is at this position down to his shoulder, and watch what happens in the next millisecond is all it takes for this to happen. Watch what happens. Look at the club drop in. Now his hands are in virtually the same place they were before, but now he's letting his wrists soften up. So he's getting a ton of lag. And as his club gets back and his forearm gets back down to horizontal again, you'll notice now that the club, I'm going to clear those last couple of lines. You'll notice now that the shaft of the club is clearer here versus that than it was. So that difference, all this angle difference right there is loading on the downswing. It's download. That's what you need to start feeling in your swing. From that position there, you could throw as hard as you want. As long as you keep rotating your body like he's doing. From here, you can't throw too early. There's just no way. It's going to be pretty late when you throw at that point. But there isn't one tour pro who doesn't have more lag, tighter angle here on the downswing than he had at the top of the backswing, because their body creates that. Okay, guys? Pay very close attention to that. There's good drills for that. You don't even have to go back very far. Just take it back about to here and try to get the club to set, what I call set, on the downswing. Try to get here and then set it and throw. I don't want you to hold on. I want you to get here, set it late, and throw. Set the club on the downswing and then throw away. Okay, guys, let's go to work.